Alright, so this is the tutorial for how I use OBS Studio. Okay, so I basically do quite a few tutorials for myself, but usually they're in note format. And so I just recently downloaded this, and I'm finding it's going to be more convenient to do those tutorials in video format rather than going through all my notes. So I typically do these tutorials for myself because I have different applications and softwares that I'm learning, and sometimes it might be like a week or two before I get back to them, and by the time I do, I am so confused. It's basically like starting over again. So I want something short and sweet that I can refer back to be able to start using them. Alright, so for the OBS Studio, what I did was I first went to obsproject.com and I followed the installation process for Windows. Because I'm using a Windows, you would have to use whichever one is applicable for you. Alright, so when it opens, you actually have to add your source. So you'll have a scene, and here are where your sources are going to be listed. So to add them, you would go to the plus, and I'm using the display capture, so for recording the screen. There's also a video capture option. I'll do that in just a second. So that one, you can actually do that if you also plan to have yourself on camera. Alright, so something I wanted to show first for the display capture is here. If you want to change the size of the area that's being displayed there, so you would go right click and you get this menu that pops up. So you would go to filters, and then from there you can determine where you want to cut. So as you can see, I cut around the display because I have some little notes at the side, and then the bar at the bottom is just distracting, so I removed that. Okay, so now for video capture, we'll do actually a second one. I have it off because I'm not doing a video, but to add that source, you click here and then you go to video capture device. So we'll just add a second one. Alright, so if I go OK, here you'll see a little box showing up here, and with that actually you can size this. So this is your little video box, so you can move it around. You can, so this just right click it and drag it, and then when you move your cursor to the corners where these little boxes are, you can do a resize. So I did do a test of it. Sometimes that window is just really big. Oh, by the way, you're seeing an infinity, a kind of infinity window here because it's doing the screen record. Okay, so I'm gonna cancel. It's still gonna show up with a new video capture, but I'll just delete that. Okay, so I'm gonna cancel all this here. So you see here I have the second one, so I don't want it, so I'm just gonna right click and I'm gonna say remove. Okay, it's gonna ask me, and I do. Alright, so now to start recording, what I would do is come to this side here. Right now there's only the stop recording option because I'm actually recording it right now, but you would just click here and you'll see at the bottom there, actually you can see it right here, it's showing you the record, and I've actually been talking for quite a bit longer than I expected, so it looks like maybe my video process may not be as effective as I thought. Okay, so I might end up going back to notes option because I may have to add some notes just to when I come back to this, so that it's like easier to find where each one starts. Alright, so another thing here is right now you see here it says my scene is OBS Studio. So you can add scenes here, so you could do a new one, but then that brings a new scene altogether, and then you have to add your sources again. So I'm not going to click new because I don't want to generate a new scene. I'm just keeping with this OBS Studio. And when you have your scenes, you're going to see them listed here. All right, so then the other thing to know is for once if this is recorded, so you would go here, you go to File, and you would actually click on Show Recording. This will show you where your files have been recorded. And that's going to depend where you set it up during the setup process. If you want to change it, you actually can go to Settings here. Alright, so you go to Settings and then you go to Output, and here is where you would change. So recording, you have recording path. So you would be able to change it from here. I don't want to make any changes, so I'm just gonna cancel. Okay. Alright, so next, so when you actually save your files, what you're gonna find is that they're not in MP4 format. So if you want to do something with them, you're gonna actually have to convert them. And to do the conversion, that is the Remux option here. So you go to File, then you go to Remux Recording. Alright, so here is where you would do that. So there's nothing here at the moment. You actually have to select it, and it will open up where the files are. Then you select the file, that particular file that you want, and you'll see it's listed here. It'll actually show up with the file path, and then it'll give you the option. It's gonna give you a target file, usually gonna be like MP4. I'm just trying to do this from memory because I don't want to actually remux anything right now at the moment. So then once that is all entered, you can do multiple. So you click one, and then there'll actually be another bar underneath, and then you can click for the second one, and then you click on Remux, and then you would be able to remux it. Okay, and it will convert. Okay, you know what, maybe let me just do one anyway. So let's click. Alright, so let's click on this one. It's not complete. This is the one being recorded at the moment. Okay, so let's open it. So you see what I'm talking about here. Captures listed, and then it gives you the option for MP4, and then we go Remux, and okay. So then I can close that. Alright, so that's it. So I'm just gonna click here, stop recording, and then that will be it. Oh yeah, so actually you could adjust your volume here. So this one, you're only seeing the audio mixer right now. So if you go, let me uncheck this. I want this visible. If I make it visible, you'll see here video capture. Then you also have options for setting how loud you want your volume to be. Okay, so I'm gonna close that back, and